us today.
Welcome to Excelling Kids and Families page right here on Facebook and on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope that you are all doing very, very well by God's grace and keeping safe with your families. Let somebody know, let a friend know, let a neighbor know that you are watching us. We have come your way to be a blessing to your children. And my question today to parents out there is, are you planning on waiting for your children to grow up and find out all about self-control by themselves? Or are you one of the parents who are going to be proactive like myself, and we are going to teach our children, our teenagers, our young people self-control right from the young age? Because you would agree with me that it's the best time to teach such a valuable life skill, such a valuable lesson. It will go a long way to help them. So if you have joined us, please, I encourage you to bring your children on board in their age 8 years and above. Bring them on board, and they're going to learn so much from today's lesson. If they prefer to watch it on YouTube or on Facebook, they can check both sites out. The name is the same on both sides. So thank you so much for joining us. I am so excited to come your way, and I believe that this lesson is going to go a long way to help our children, help our young people, help the next generation to be able to do exploits, to be able to excel in all that they do. So if they are ready, let them come with their notebooks, let them come with their Bibles, and we are going to make a start. Now, the topic of self-control. Self-control is so vital, is so important, and is simply one's ability to hold themselves, to catch themselves before they do an act or do something that they would later regret. So, to simply put, is your ability to wait, to think through before you act. It's so important to be able to do that in your life. And I've got examples here to just give us an idea, how big self-control as a topic is, in as a skill, as a character trait to have, is so needed in our lives. Now, self-control is strength. It's definitely a strength. I've put some pictures up on the screen, and I can tell that many of you are already familiar with this kind of pictures. It might be, siblings fighting one another because one cannot let go for, to take turns to play. So it can end up in a fight. And the biggest one is somebody behind bars in prison. So self-control can lead to a lot of, if a person does not have self-control, it can lead them into so many troubles. It brings consequences if you are not able to control yourself. As a child, it might be, just getting told off. But as you grow and you are not able to hold yourself in a situation, in an environment that you're supposed to control yourself, it can escalate to so many other problems. And as adults might share with you, Lack of self-control has resulted in job losses. It can lead to a person losing money. It can lead to a person losing very good friendships. It can bring a big loss if self-control, a person lacks self-control. Now, I love what the Bible says, and there's so many verses out there about self-control. This particular one is the one that we are going to share today on our lesson. You can find it in Galatians chapter 5, verse 2. And it reads that, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, is joy, is peace, is patience, is kindness, is goodness, is faithfulness, is gentleness, and what? Self-control. Self-control is the last but not the least listed out there as the fruit of the Spirit, the characters, the behaviors that shows that this person has, is a child of God. This person is able to stand, is able to hold themselves, is able to do is able to do great things. So what self-control does, in addition to all these other characteristics that have been listed here, is it makes the person effective. It makes the person productive. So for example, if you are able to control yourself when it comes to video games, for example, you are able to control the amount of time you spend on social media, for example, it means that you have more time to do other things that will be more beneficial to you, such as doing your revision, learning, or even thinking and dreaming about great things that you want to do in the future. But if you are preoccupied and you cannot hold yourself back when it comes to wasting so much time on games, you will be losing time. So lack of self-control can cause you to lose a great amount of time. And when we are young, we will feel that, oh, we have plenty of time. But that time lost cannot be added back to your life. So when we have self-control, it helps us to be productive. It helps us to be effective. Now, let's see examples of people who lacked self-control and how that, what it cost them. We all know from the Bible about Samson. Samson lost his eyes due to lack of self-control. When he went into a bad company, but he kept where he was, he kept drinking. He did not control the amount of alcohol that he was drinking. So the person that wanted to trap him, Delilah, was able to do so because Samson got drunk. He could not control the amount of drink that he was taking in. And another classic example is Cain. Cain could not control his jealousy. He lost control. He was so bitter against his brother purely because he felt that his sacrifice was not accepted. So he was envious of his brother, and it pushed him to murder, to take his brother's life. So self-control, when you have it, can help you, can prevent you from getting into so much trouble or even hurting another person. And our favorite character there, Joseph, he was one who was able to have, develop his self-control. And he is a great example for all young people. And as a young person, when I read my Bible, I fell in love with Joseph's story and how he was able to control himself. And I always prayed that I can be like Joseph, to be able to control my feelings, my emotions, my desires. And if you are able to do that, you are on your way to winning. You are on your way to excelling, to becoming effective in life. So these are some of the examples that we have picked from the Bible. Now, I'm going to share with you the ways that you can develop self-control. There are so many ways that you can develop self-control, but today I am going to share 5 because of time. But if we get more time in the future, we can share a lot more with you. The first thing that you can do is to develop good habits. Habits are so important in our lives. If we have good habits, it means that we have put ourselves at the driving seat, or if you have an automatic car, it's like autopilot. You have set it automatically. And if you set something automatically to do something for you, and it's set right, when that thing is finished, you are happy because it has produced the result. But if you set up an automated system, and that system is not set up right, you will come and it has destroyed your stuff. For example, in a manufacturing company where they have machines set up, for example, to make boxes, if they don't set up that machine properly, the boxes will come out broken. But if they set up those machines properly, guess what? The boxes will come out right. In the same way, when we program ourselves by having good habits, it means that we have set ourselves up to win. So let self-control become part of your life. And you do this by reflecting on what the things that you have done. If you feel that, oh, this part I was too angry, I got out of order, take time and learn from that situation. What caused you, what provoked you, so that next time you don't let that same thing trigger you to do something that is out of order. So seek to develop good habits, habits that will serve you, habits that will make things easier for you. Number 2, take responsibility. Take responsibility of your actions. Sometimes we are too quick to give excuses. We are too quick to blame others. But if we take time and we are able to accept our mistakes and learn from it and seek to turn it around, we realize that it goes a long way to help us. It is one aspect of developing our self-control. And I love self-control because it is only you who can do it. We can only teach you, but by practice, you develop it yourself. And it's like a muscle. The more you work it out, the bigger and stronger it gets. So by all the time owning up to the things that you have done, it's very important. Not shying away from the things that needs correcting, that needs changing, that is taking responsibility. At home, maybe you have chores that have been allocated to you. Do it diligently. And the more you are doing the chores that have been allocated to you, the more you are developing that interest in making sure that things are done, things that are assigned to you are done. And this is a skill that you take with you as an adult. When you finish your studies, your learning, and you get a job in the future, you will be given assignments, you'll be given tasks, and you need to be able to control yourself to get through the work. Make sure that it is completed. So take full responsibility right now, beginning with your learning. Take full responsibility of your studies, of your education, making sure, as we have learned in the past, making sure that you are organized, making sure that you have a timetable, making sure that you are going back on things and you are researching and digging deeper. Take full responsibility of your learning, of your education, of the little tasks that are assigned to you. Number three, how you can develop self-control is by accepting constructive criticism, or accepting correction that are genuine. So maybe an adult you trust, your parents, your teachers, your guardians, they point something out to you and it relates to self-control. It's important that you listen and you learn from it. If you need help, ask them so that they can get you, a professional who will be able to help you. Don't get angry when you are corrected in love, constructively. When you are told that what you did was not right, you need to change it. Listen, check it out, try the new thing that you are being taught and see the difference for yourself. And I love this example that Dr. Miles Morrow, may his soul rest in peace, he was a great preacher and a great motivational speaker as well. And he shares his story that when he was around the age 10, his mother warned him seriously that if he does not get control of his anger, he can end up in prison, because he used to be so angry. Any little thing, he will get triggered and begin to fight and begin to, rip into the other person. It was that bad that his mother sat him down and warned him seriously that he needs to get it under control. And he said that the way his mother told him made him to sit up and begin to take steps that will help him to control his temper. And he's so glad that he was able to control his temper. He's so glad that he listened to his mother's correction and got rid of that anger and that quick temper. If he hadn't, he probably would not have gone that far in life as he did. So appreciate your parents and adults that you can trust when they correct you or they teach you about self-control. The fourth one is to have an awareness, to know that you can control your thoughts. And this is something that when we are young, when we are not aware, we are not sure whether we can control the thoughts that floods up our minds. It's like our mind is in a whole world of its own. It gets bombarded with so many thoughts, uncountable thoughts every second. Different thoughts are coming. But if we can learn to control ourselves from within by controlling what we think about, by controlling, how we feel, it will help us to gain or develop self-control. And how we control our thoughts is by watching what we allow in our space, what we are allowing on our inside, in terms of what we are listening to, in terms of what we are watching, in terms of what we are tasting. So if we know that this thing we are watching is not going to help us, it is not kind, it is not the truth, it is not pure, it is not good, of a good report, then we shouldn't consume such information. We shouldn't touch that thing. We should do what Joseph did, run away from those things that will negatively impact our thoughts, that will negatively impact our emotions and our feelings. When we stay away from those things, it will help us to develop our self-control. Now, the fifth one is a big one, and it is learning about delayed gratification. Delayed gratification. What do we mean by delayed gratification? Delayed gratification is whereby you are holding yourself or controlling something now. You are letting go of, or it could be you are letting go of something that feels like, oh, I must have this now, but you are holding off it and waiting because you know that the one that is coming in the future is much more greater than that benefit you are receiving now. For example, let's use this basic example. Sweets. We all love it, right? We all love sweets. It tastes nice when we eat them that instant compared to maybe vegetables, because I know that most kids, they stay away from fruit and vegetables even though it's very, very good for them. So delayed gratification, an example of that would be, oh, I'm going to eat this fruit and veg now. I know that it doesn't taste good right now, but I know that the more I eat it, the more I am, getting healthier in the long term. So delayed gratification looks at the long term benefit that you are going to get from, taking an action or not doing something. Another example is games compared to your studies. If you spend more time now while you are in school playing, yes, you are going to get the satisfaction immediately, straight away, but in the long term, you are going to regret. Why? Because it's going to impact negatively on your grades. Whereas if you say, you know what, I'm going to delay the satisfaction of playing games right now, and you know what, I'm going to put myself through, even though I don't feel, like it, I don't want to do it, but I know it's good for me in the long term. I'm going to get my homework done. I'm going to get my assignments done. I'm going to get my coursework done because I know that in the long term, it will impact positively on my life. So that is what delayed gratification is all about. Making sure that you think about the long term consequences of your action or inaction and choosing the one that will serve you in the long term. So these are the 5 things time will permit us to share with you today. And I believe that it's a good start, at least for you to begin to think about self control and to seek the ways that you can develop it for yourself. So let it be at the back of your mind this week. Throughout, look for opportunities to control your thoughts, to control your feelings, your emotions. Look for opportunities to reflect your actions and see where you went out of control, and pat yourself at the back where you were able to control yourself and make the right choices and make the right decisions. So may the Lord be with you. May the Lord bless you, and may the Lord help you as you start on this journey of developing self control. Have a wonderful, wonderful time wherever you are. And I know that by God's grace, we shall see each other again next week online, and we shall give God all the praise. Take care and have a wonderful time. Bye.